The Incas lived up high in the Andes Mountains, and they were also farmers, but sometimes warlike. One of their achievements were the walls they had. The stones perfectly fit in like puzzle pieces, and they found that amazing. The Incas did not change over time compared to the other civilizations. The Incas sometimes got taken over by the conquistadors. My project creation was a recreation of the wall from their civilization. They did not trade much in their time of important value. They tried to do equal trade with each other.
The Pueblo people lived in the cliff dwellings at Mesa Verde. They were farmers and controlled rainwater to water their plots of corn, beans, and squash. An achievement of theirs was crafts, which included weaving, basket making, and pottery making. They're still around today, which shows that they were a very strong community. They traded their natural resources, which included their crafts and food. They used what they made as currency, and they wanted rain because it was so dry in southwest Colorado. They even made small huts to honor the rain gods.
Chinampas were floating gardens that were used by the Aztecs. They were very, very advanced farming systems that used water that was under the floating garden to irrigate the crops, such as corn, maize, and papaya. It was very, very advanced for its time because nobody had thought about it. It had willow trees. Around its edge to protect it from the wind, and then the willow tree's roots would anchor themselves down into the muck below. This would make it a lot easier for the Aztecs' floating gardens to stay there instead of floating off somewhere. The Aztecs had a sun god, which was very, very important to them. It was, if they didn't make the daily sacrifices necessary for the sun god, they believed that the sun would not rise, and in fact, the world would end. They also had a calendar that based around the sun god. They had two calendars based around the sun god. One was only 20 days long, while the other was 260 days long. On the topic of gods, they had chocolate. Chocolate was thought to be the drink of the gods, and it was used as a currency and was valued above almost everything else. And that's all you need to know about the Aztecs. Thank you for your time.
Hi folks, so the Mayas is a noun and an adjective that describes people and their culture, and the way of life is based on farming, and they created a writing system using signs and symbols called hieroglyphics. The Mayas worshipped forces of nature and the corn god, and they held many festivals on top of temples, and the civilization may have reached its peak between AD 250 and 900 AD. The Mayas' achievements were military skills, and they used rubber to make shoes and socks. And that is it about the Mayas.
The mound builders lived in the forests of the eastern woodlands. One of the mound builders' achievements was the Serpent Mound, which was in Ohio. Their symbols for the mound builders. The structure was like a swivelly snake. It had jewelry and all sorts of precious things inside it. They lived from 1000 BC to 1600 AD. And that's all you need to know about the mound builders. Under the mounds, they had graves where they buried people.